Hey, Dream Chasers, this is Aimee J, and thank you so much for tuning in to episode 262 of Chasing Dreams. We're going to talk about something that we often don't talk about, and that's the importance of rest. Yep, it's time to rest. A lot of times in the hustle culture that has been around for years, frankly, probably mostly in the 2010s, now in the 2020s, you know, the hustle culture that you have to have a side job, that you have to, you know, be hustling to make yourself happy, and how, you know, there's a change at the moment where people are realizing hustling isn't always the answer. It's not that immediate thing that you should be doing. And so want to talk about that because it's a realization I came to as well. You can't just be hustling. For those of you who believe God rested on the seventh day. Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason that productivity coaches, people who are mindful of time, talk about rest, how it's more important and more effective for you to work for 21 minutes and take a 9 to 10 minute break than to just go and then repeat that twice, than to just work for an hour straight, right? It's because that rest, that helps bring your energy level back. It helps you to come back stronger versus working for an hour straight. And if you're on the YouTube, my hand's just kind of going down because your energy level and your ability to focus decreases. But if you are doing that kind of work, break, working in smaller increments, right, then your energy is going to drop, but you're going to plateau and then go up again and then drop. And then plateau and then go up again, right? Because it's not just you're not draining over an hour. You're draining for 21 minutes and then you're recovering some of that lost energy. And then you get back. And that's how you become more productive. So for millennials, for Gen Zers, for even Gen X, teach the next generation not to work in long batches of time. That's what we were taught, and that's not effective. That's not how you're going to do it. Pulling all-nighters is not going to help you. It's going to help, but it's not going to help you as well as if you had studied, taken a break, rest, and then study again, right? That's the power is in the rest. The power is in the rest. That's why you'll see people and influencers like Michael Hyatt and Pat Flynn who talk about the importance of resting. It's not necessarily about the hustle culture. People are learning now. Those who were hustling are realizing, hey, there's something to this break thing and doing it. And for us as individuals, it's so important because we don't talk about that. Even on the seventh day, we are busy. We are crazy busy. And that is why for caretakers, for caregivers, for parents, for grandparents, for brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, friends, for just people, it's so important that we find some way to take rest, right? If you're someone who prides themselves on never taking a vacation, Matt, I'm going to need you to take a moment to think back on that. Can you not give yourself a break? You know, I think it's so important. You know, there are schools giving mental health days. We talked about that before. It's so important even for jobs to start incorporating that in, because you can burn out at work. You can burn out at your day job, at your night job, at your career, if you don't give yourself and allow for breaks to be taken, right? A good manager will notice and talk to you about, hey, so when's your vacation coming up? When is that time off? And I know we're still in a pandemic or endemic or however they're describing it now, depending on when you're listening to this, but you can do things safely. Right? You can do things safely. Staycations are a thing. Or you can go on vacation. There's certain places that are very, very safe. I'm hearing if you're traveling outside of the country, inclusive resorts that are probably even more safe than some of the places where you're around now. You just got to balance what you're doing and figure out what is the best way to do it. But don't not take a break because you think you can't manage it. You might do yourself more harm than good if you don't take a break. Breaks are important. Breaks are so important. And it's something that I think schools need to think about also because, you know, a 1 hour attention span, that's hard. That's hard, especially when we're realizing that people have better attention spans in half-hour blocks, 21-minute increments, you know? So why are we talking about rest right now and the importance of it? Because sometimes if you just hustle, you will experience burnout. Yeah. And, you know, for someone who is a creative like myself, artists, you know, singers, writers, storytellers, people talk about something called the creative burnout. And we don't really talk about it in podcasting because most people talk about it as pod fade. And pod fade is really when you kind of podcast for a bit and then you kind of disappear out of nowhere. Usually happens for newbie podcasters, those before. For example, our Podcaster HQ News technically has pod faded, but we're trying to work that back because life happened, right? But creative burnout is something that artists experience. They talk about taking a break, taking a step back because you just don't have that energy. And then you feel guilty about the fact that you're taking a step back, but you need to take that step back. You need to take that break. And so as podcasters, we don't really talk about that. It's just kind of seen like it's this thing that people don't talk about, taking breaks. People don't talk about the fact that we could suffer creative burnout because we're just going and going, where 1,000 episodes are praised for how it is. And the thing is that oftentimes people who do 1,000 episodes have a team behind them to get it out there, to put it together, to make magic, right? I'm not dismissing them. Please don't think that. But it's a lot. It's a lot. And so, you know, creative burnout is something that I think affects a lot of people that we just don't realize. And I was having a conversation with my good friend during a mastermind, Carrie Ann Reed Brown of Breadfruit Media. She was also a past guest on the show. And we were talking about creative burnout. And she was talking about how she's experienced it twice in her podcasting career. And she actually wrote a blog post on this. And I'm going to share it in the show notes. So please be sure to check it out. Because I read it and I was like, boom, this is me. And not only is it me, but apparently I experienced it before and I didn't realize it. And I was just pushing through. And so it's one of those things where, you know, when you're faced with it, the reality of it, it's stark, right? And so I want to talk about it because it's something that, you know, can happen and you're just pushing and pushing to get things through. But are you really pushing your best? Are you really giving your all to what you're producing and what you're showing? And it wears on us. It wears on us. And we start kind of doing things differently. And so as a podcaster, we are taught consistency is key, right? Don't not post. Put something out there. People will disappear if you don't post. And I think it's that fear, that thing that we talk about is like that, where are we? Right. But there's proof that creatives who have disappeared for a bit and come back, may lose some people, but may even gain more. And so we talk about the hiatuses that, TV shows like Stranger Things, that Haven, that, other shows that take, right? They take a hiatus. They have a planned break, and they come back. And there are some people who post as podcasters sporadically and are doing fine. And so the thing is that we're so used to focusing on, hey, everything has to be done as ABC 1, 2, 3, follow the formula. That's the only way. We've lost, I think, some of that organic us in the formula. And we've just become formulaic. And I say that all to say, I have creative burnout at the moment. And it's taken a bit to realize that. I thank Carrie Ann for helping me kind of come to that realization for myself. And I was like, okay, great. So diagnosed, now what is the treatment? What is the cure? And Carrie Ann talks about the steps in her blog. And I don't want to take away from it. I really want you to read it. There's like 3 steps for it, but I'm going to take the first step. I'm going to talk about that, which is Chasing Dreams is going on a hiatus. I'd like to call it a summer hiatus, with the knowledge that I may lose some of you guys. as we did when we kind of took that first break earlier and came back. And I may lose some of you guys now, and I hope I don't. I hope you stay subscribed, and we'll see what happens. But I can't hinge everything on that, right? I can't, I don't want to keep giving you guys, or not keep, but give you guys poor episodes. My guests deserve better than that. You deserve better than that. I deserve to give you more than that. And so we're taking a summer hiatus. I'd love to say that I'm going to be back in October for it. I hope to. That's my plan. But I'm going to be honest with myself and allow the rest I need to take to find what needs to happen next. And hopefully my creative energies come back. I'm actually already thinking of different formats and things for Chasing Dreams and what we're going to do to come back. So I'd like to say October, but we'll see. I'm truly going to take at least 1 month of not thinking about podcasting for Chasing Dreams and see what happens, right? So, yeah, the podcast will be going on hiatus. This is your official announcement. I'm hoping to be back in October. We'll see where that goes. But regardless, if we come back, when, however we want to say it, come back, it's going to be as better than ever. We're going to have a better system. We're going to have a better thing. We're going to work in breaks and rest. But that is what I want to leave you with, because it's a lesson I learned. I think it's something that as dream chasers, you guys need to learn. It's important to take breaks. It's not talked about enough. It's something you need to give yourself. I knew this. I didn't practice it. I realized that I need at least a day off, or at least a long weekend once a quarter, for sure. Once a month, a day off would be great, but at least a minimum once a quarter, a long weekend to refresh, rejuvenate, and kind of recharge before I go back into the next quarter. So, lesson I knew, haven't been practicing, and here we are. So just want to share that with you guys. I hope that you can learn from me and what I am doing and going through, and know that there is no shame in it. That's something that I also want to talk about. There is no shame in taking rest. I'm going to do it. It's what's best for me. And we need to bring ourselves, our best selves, to this world, to the podcast, to anything we're doing. And so in order to do that, we have to take care of ourselves. And there's no shame in taking care of yourself. We're just not used to it. And people aren't used to hearing no, or people aren't used to hearing negative things about, the fact that people might be stepping away or going away, So keep that in mind, right? People need the breaks. People are valuable. People are human. Take them off the pedestals, especially in what's happening in the world today. In light of recent governmental things in the U.S., it's kind of crazy. And for my mental health, I need to take a break. And so catch me on the socials, wherever. I will post occasionally. I found social media is also something that's not necessarily great for my mental health, and hence I've stepped away a little bit. But, I'll still be around. So with that, guys, I'm going to let you go and hope that this isn't the last time we chat or talk. But know that, it's not going to be the last time we chat or talk, for sure, because I still have this passion for chasing dreams, and I still have this passion to help you guys. And so how that comes in the next form, I don't know. Hopefully it'll still be in the form of a podcast, but I'll still be helping, and I'm still a resource wherever you need it. So reach out to me. I get the messages in the inboxes and stuff. So if you ever need anything, reach me through social media. I'm still available. I just don't post as often. And let's see you chasing your dreams, because that's so important. This world needs you, because you are loved. You are important. You are needed. And most importantly, you are enough. Just the way you are, as you are. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay? So remember, don't stop. Keep chasing. And you can find all the show notes over on the show notes page at AimeeJ21.com/episode 262. That's episode 262. All right, Dream Chasers. Till next time.